Hey guys, this is Don. It's my first YouTube video actually. Not sure what's going to go on this channel so far, just kind of trying this out. One of the things I did want to do though was do something on pocket knives, because I consider myself a knife enthusiast, or a knife nut as some people might say. So this is just hopefully not going to be too long, just showing off what I've acquired in the past about 14 years. So here we go. Let's get started. First one up, the Boker. I believe this is the Gemini. And bought this on my honeymoon back in 2008. And basically this is the first time I spent more than 20 bucks on a knife. Got some good use out of this liner lock. Didn't know anything about blade steels or handle materials at the time or anything like that. Just wanted a better knife than 20 bucks. So got this and definitely got some good use out of it. What's next? Let's do this one. Okay. So this is an old school cold steel Recon 1. And this one I believe is AUS 8 steel. Tanto on this one, as you can see from the scratches. This was definitely a user for quite a while. Still do bust it out as just a user and abuser. Okay, moving right along. So now, make a jump here. This is the first knife that I actually spent more than $100 on. And this is the ZT-0300 ST with the serrations, the Ken Onion mixed strider collaboration in S30V, titanium lockside frame lock. And while we're talking about ZTs, a few years later I picked up one of these, the Hinderer collaboration. This is the 0560 in LMAX and black wash. It's a third generation. It has the lock bar insert right there. Really dig the black wash on it. Alright, so let me move those out of the way so we can make space for some more knives. Okay. A couple random entries here. This is a Pull Force Alpha 3. Just kind of got it because it wasn't super expensive. Made a decent D2 steel. Very stiff, very strong lockback design on this. Great ergonomics. I mean, you can just totally choke up on that, but huge. I mean, it's got a pocket clip. I don't recommend EDCing this guy, though. This guy weighs over half a pound, I believe. But I have used it out in the garden and the yard for some things, and it holds up well. I mean, it'd be a good camp knife, or tactical knife, I guess, if it's not too heavy for you. But anyways, just a big beefy knife. I thought it was just really cool. I don't EDC it. Obviously, it's kind of huge. What else? How about this one? This is a Hogue X5. And this one is in CPM 154. Cerakote blade, Cerakote handle with, I believe they call that G-Mascus G10 for texturing and grip. Also have a safety on here. This is not auto and it's not assisted, but gosh, I'll tell you, it definitely has some snap to it. Very nice design. Fairly large blade. It comes in a 3.5 and a 4. And I got the 4-inch blade on this one. Overall, nice button lock knife. Okay, what's next? How about some Benchmade? Okay, so here we've got an old school Benchmade Adamas 275. This is not the new one that has the crew wear. This is the classic D2 blade. Thick blade, hard use folder as advertised, and of course you got that axis lock on it. Doesn't quite swing open. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get that one to swing open. I probably need to go in and maybe clean up the washers a little on that one. But very tough, very solid knife. Happy with it. Used it, definitely. It's a good knife. More Benchmade. Okay. Benchmade Crooked River. Alright, so this is actually a custom job. This is... I don't know if you can see that. 20 CV steel. The finish on the blade is because it was a black blade that I chose, and when I got it, I was like, you know what? I don't think I like the black blade on my Bowie. So I took the knife apart and basically sanded down the black finish, and now it's got kind of this nicer, kind of worn-looking finish. Razor sharp edge, of course, that I've maintained. Pretty easy to maintain and hone. This one is actually just buttery smooth with that axis lock compared to the Adamas that I have. But again, the Adamas might just need a cleaning. But this is probably the smoothest axis lock that I've handled or had. One more Benchmade. This is, of course, the Benchmade Bailout. This is the M4 version with the green aluminum handles. Good little Tonto. Carried this one a few times as well. And this one just, you know, like they advertise, you don't even feel this thing in your pocket. It's wonderful. And the Tonto edge is nice. The M4 steel, I haven't had to sharpen it yet. Again, I don't abuse my knives. I use them for just kind of daily tasks. Mostly when I do use them, it's usually to cut something open, like with cardboard or some other, you know, some semi-rigid material. But good little knife here. Weighs like next to nothing compared to the other ones I have. All right. Moving that out of the way and all these others. Microtech. How about some Microtech? Socom Delta. Got this one in 2013. This was born in December 2012. S35 VN. Really hard to see that, but it's right there. Tough, solid knife. Subframe lock. Only gripes I have about this one's got the aluminum handles. The only gripes I have about this blade. I love the Tonto on this Microtech, but of course the proprietary hardware, so many screws, right? The other thing is the detent. I mean, it's got buttery smooth action. I believe this one's got bearings for the pivot, or bearings for the washers, ball bearing washers. But the detent on this has almost cut or stabbed me a couple times. More than a couple times when I'm pulling it out of my pocket, because literally that's it. That's the detent on it, or lack thereof. You can shake this sucker open, and it tends to accidentally start to open when I've carried it. You know, this one is a tip-up carry, and in my pocket it's tended to semi-open like this, do one of these, and I've almost stabbed myself or cut myself. That's my only gripe with this one. Other than that, it's a great knife, and I really like the way they do their Tonto. Microtech. So you can't talk about Microtech without talking about their autos, right? So this is my one and only out the front auto. God, that's fun. Microtech Combat Troodon. Go big or go home, right? When it comes to these things. So, yeah. Such a really cool knife. Really fun to fidget with. Is it the most practical thing to EDC? My opinion would probably be no, but you know what? It's just a darn cool knife in my opinion. EDCing an auto versus a non-auto pocket knife, folding knife, that's a discussion for another video. This is just kind of showing the knives I have, and I'm very pleased with the dagger edge on this and the action. I was not always able to do that with my thumb. I don't know if it's the spring breaking in or your hand and thumb and wrist muscles and forearm muscles just getting used to it, or a combination of both. But that was definitely more difficult when I first bought this knife. But great knife, Microtech. Okay, how about some Spyderco? So, Spyderco Military in S30V. Liner lock. Spyderco does great with their liner locks. And of course, can't have a Spyderco knife without having a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, or PM2, right? This one is just the S30V. I don't have any special edition PM2s that have higher end steels. Camo G10, black blade. I just really dig how this one looks. And again, not as light as the bailout, but still very, very light knife. Disappears almost in my pocket as far as weight's concerned. And really like that compression lock. All right, let's move along. So let's end this off with what many consider to be the classic knife trinity, I guess. I've heard a lot of people call it that. Strider, Chris Reeve, and Hinderer, right? So here's my one and only Hinderer that I own. It's an XM-18 3.5. As you can see from the bevel there, this is a fatty version, so it is, there's the F on the flipper. This is a very thick blade stock. And I liked it at first, but then I found for my tasks, personally, I wanted it to be a little thinner on the edge. So I actually had somebody thin the edge, and the consequence of that is, you know, that big honkin' bevel. It cuts really well, though. And it still maintains a lot of thickness closer to the tip, this Spanto grind. So there it is, Hinderer XM-18 3.5 fatty. Strider. There's one. There's two. Both of them are SMF. This one is older. This one is 2012, about 2012 when I bought it. I think it said it was an S30V. They weren't stamping the steel on it at the time. This is, we can see evolution here. This is a 2019 Strider in the Stonewash. I love their Stonewash. I mean, I like their Tiger Stripe, but this Stonewash, get the light on it just right, is just nice. This is XHP, CTS XHP. Trying to get it to show up there. And you can see a little evolution here, the refinements made. The screws are all on this side, on the G10 of the 2012 Strider. The screws are on the titanium side for the 2019 version, and they go right into the aluminum show side. And the external stops are definitely smaller, more refined compared to the 2012 version. This is also much thinner at the edge, I found, compared to the 2012 version. And at the tips, I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get it on camera here. The tips, you can see maybe the difference in the thickness of the tips. This is got that swedge here, that hybrid grind they call it, I believe. But yeah, they're both rock solid. I have not experienced any rock with them. And they've served their purpose, real good knives. And finally, of course, we have a Sebenza. Gotta have a Sebenza, right, with the knife trinity. This is a 21, large 21, not a 31, as you can see with the machining hole there. They got rid of that for the 31, and of course the 31 has the ceramic lock, ceramic ball in there for the lock and detent as well. And then of course the 31, the clip is angled. The clip on this one is not. I kind of like the way the clip looks on the 21. I don't know that I'm actually going to get a 31. I'm really happy with my 21, and it cuts really well. It's really easy to sharpen. This is S35 VN, and according to the little card that came with it, it's hardened to 59 or 60. So switched out the traditional lanyard for one of these, just kind of like the way that looked. But this, you know, I mean, gosh, it's a Sebenza, right? Pretty much perfect with the tolerances as they're supposed to be, or what they're known for. And so there we have it. So that's what I got so far. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I guess I'll talk to you guys later.